Hi there, Gracie. Yeah. Good girl. Yeah, I woke up this morning and there was no cat. I said, oh no, where's my cat? Yeah, there was no cat. I guess in the night, Gracie must have bugged Ellen and no one let her out. Because I got up and I thought she was hiding in the other bedroom someplace. You know, she does that sometimes when she wants privacy. But there was no cat. I'm walking around going, Gracie, where's my kitty? Yeah, finally I took the compost out to the garden and dumped it. And, well, there comes Gracie. Somewhere in the night, no one must have let her out. She must have been getting to be a pest, wanted to go out, huh? Yeah, is that it? You see, she's out all night. But she usually comes around, 5:13 every morning. Gets on my shoulder and meows in my ear. Yeah, she does. It's... Yeah. Yeah. Nah, it's strange because, I'm not a big cat guy. No, this one's something else. Yeah, she's special. Yeah. Every morning, she hurt herself one time falling off the roof and hurt her back leg. Well, we understood that cat purr helps cats heal. She was new in the house at that time, so we started petting her in the mornings and getting her purring, petting her hopefully that, she'd heal up because her leg was pretty sore. I think she got it caught in the gutter and fell over. Anyway, well, I realized after a while that the purring was, it wasn't just affecting the cat, it was affecting me too. Yeah, I'd get up and I'd pet the cat and there was a reaction. It's hard to explain, but the cat purr left me feeling healthier, wholer, more whole in the morning. I don't know. So it's got to be a ritual. Me and Gracie, we wake up in the morning and I pet the cat until she purrs, right? Yeah. Yep, we both get something out of it, I guess. So, what else is new this morning? Let's see. We are 11 days without any rain. Wow. That's amazing. There's supposed to be some coming up in the next week here. So, I don't know. We're probably going to be about 2 weeks again without any rainfall. That's really unusual around here. Although lately it seems to be more common. Yeah, I had a visitor here yesterday. I was living on Molokai and wanting to live here in Puna, maybe shopping around, was talking to me about property. And, well, he found himself dumbfounded. He says, I come here, I expected it to be raining. It's dry. And the humidity was 48%, which for us is really low. So, yeah, it's been very dry. I have had to water the nursery. That's not too unusual. But I've had to also water the garden, which is unusual. Yeah. Well, now, it was some time ago, I don't know, back around maybe 2008 or something on that order. I'll have to look it up. But they had talked about releasing a scale from Brazil that would attack the strawberry guava here on the island. Any of you who live here know what a scourge that stuff is. It will just completely and totally take over landscapes. And I believe it secretes compounds into the soil that prevent other things. It's very aggressive. It's a mess. Yeah. They talked about bringing in a scale and releasing it, but there was a lot of adversity over the pigs. Well, the pigs eat the guavas. Don't destroy the guavas. We want to hunt pigs. Well, apparently that wasn't enough of an argument, I guess, because it appears the state did release the scale. Now, I hadn't actually heard that, that it was done. I just knew they were talking about it. And, well, it was a few years back that we had this massive infestation of pigs across the street from me. And there's also strawberry guava over on that property. I have killed all of it on our property, but it's over there. And I had noticed that it was going into decline. Yeah. Guava wasn't healthy. Something was going wrong with it. It had been lush and vigorous for the longest time. Well, I thought about it, and I made a fairly logical assumption, and that was that guava and ohia are both myrtus. And so technically they should both be able to share the same fungus that is killing our ohia trees, what we call ROD, rapid ohia death. But with the ohias, a lot of the vectoring is done by the ambrosia beetle. It goes from tree to tree, and it'll carry the disease. Same thing happened with Dutch elm in the mainland, the elm disease. It's pretty much the same. But it can also be vectored by people's feet, by pigs, by a lot of different things. Yeah, you can move this thing around pretty easily. Well, I began to suspect the possibility that all the pig digging, the rooting across the street in the fields there, was maybe inoculating the organism into the roots of the guavas. And that's still a possibility because they really had disturbed the soil over there. It smelled like an Iowa hog farm in the wild. So many pigs. Well, I had a guy over here shopping in the nursery some years back who was working with the university and the programs to do with the forestry. And I had pointed out the guavas across the street and my ideas about what might be happening with them. And he said, no, you realize the state released that scale. I said, oh, I thought there was, so much resistance about this that it didn't happen, but apparently it did. Well, I kind of took his word at it because, he was connected. But it wasn't until the other day. Yeah, I was out. Kevin was weed whacking the grasses, and I was down on my hands and knees right around the bases of my fruit trees, removing weeds. And I found a strawberry guava that had popped up and was growing in the midst of a calamansi. And so I went in and I cut this thing out of there. And when I pulled it out, I looked at the leaves and I went, oh my goodness, they're parasitized. Yeah, there were all these dimples poking out of the leaves from the scale. They had released the scale. Apparently, this was the first proof I had actually seen to have the plant in my hand infected. Now, sadly, it isn't going to kill them off. The only thing that the scale will do will be reduce the vigor of the plants so they don't flower and fruit as well as they used to around here, so it will minimize the spread. As far as getting rid of the original existing ones, well, it's still up to the rest of you. But looking out here across the fields, it used to be I could not see Kilauea's southern rift as it descended towards Pohoiki. It was behind the guavas. I can now see through the guavas. They have gotten so thin that they're just like gauze on the landscape. And I can see Pohoiki from here now. And so something has definitely been happening. And the more I look around the neighborhood, the more I start to see more and more of these plants in decline, at least. That's a good thing. Oh, this stuff's worse than bamboo as far as what it'll do. Nothing else lives where the guava gets itself started. Yeah, so it's not a good plant. It's not a good plant. Not here in Hawaii. Some other place, California, was okay. Yeah, it didn't spread there. Here it does. The weather has been quite unusual. It's been real different because we get like 3 weeks of solid rain where it almost never stops raining, and then it stops raining. And then we got, weeks of solid drought with no rain. Now, I suppose this kind of behavior with weather is normal some other place. Most places don't rain as frequently as it does here, but in this area, this is weird. We're used to getting some rain almost every day. Come in the night, you hear the rain and stuff, and so it's creating problems for me. The newly transplanted cabbages, they're in the middle of the afternoon. The temperatures have been nuts. In the last week, I have recorded 2 of the highest temperatures I have ever seen in Mountain View. So, I don't know, say what you want about climate change. It's getting hotter around here. Previously, the warmest temperature I had ever seen here was 90 degrees. That was, it lasted for an hour or so, I believe. It doesn't last long when that happens, but it did. And, well, earlier there in the last week, I saw a 91 degree reading on my thermometer, and I went, oh my goodness, it didn't last long. Kevin came down the hill. I'd had him removing passion vines, and he looked like he wanted to die. And I said, my goodness, you look awful. What the heck? I turned around, I looked at the thermometer. I said, oh man, it's over 90 degrees. No wonder you look that bad. I said, give up and come on down, man, if it gets like that. I know. You're living in Texas or Arizona, you're laughing, going, oh, yeah, well, remember that the atmospheric humidity was probably about 80%, or more when this happens. And we're just not used to it. It just doesn't happen here. So then it was yesterday. Yesterday, I hit a 95 degree reading. The reading didn't last more than 20 minutes, and it was back down again at 88. But that's still, we're setting some records over here on this side of the island for heat. For some reason, these brief flashes of heat that I'm detecting on my equipment here are not showing up in other places, like in the news and the local weather stations and stuff. I'm not hearing these reports. Now, they are very brief. The 95 degree lasted less than an hour. Yeah, it was here, and then it was gone, and the temperature dropped rapidly. So when it hits that range, the atmosphere starts doing something, and it goes back down. But yeah, we're seeing the hottest temperatures I have ever recorded in this area. Never seen it that hot before. What you do, right? The biggest problem really is just that I have to water my plants where I wouldn't have had to if the temperatures are cooler. Well, for the most part, all the volcanic activity up at Kilauea's main summit there pretty much stopped. There's still a little bit of steam, fog coming up, but there's no lava. And we're getting a Kona wind pretty much. So I am getting up every morning with my nose running, walking out into the front yard, and I'm smelling sulfur. It smells like somebody's catalytic converter got backed up. And I go, that's why my nose is running, because I lay there all night long breathing that sulfur stuff. It irritates my sinuses. And I am not sure if it's the Kona wind wrapping around on the island that's dragging some of the fog from Kilauea over here to Mountain View. That could be. On the other hand, looking at the wind direction on my equipment out here, I'm going, well, that could be, but it looks more likely that actually the emissions down in Leilani, because that's not over. It's still hot down there. The emissions apparently maybe are increasing. Look out, folks. Yeah, I'm getting more sulfur emissions in here, and they're coming from somewhere. Like I say, it could be sweeping from the main caldera because of the winds, but I'm more suspecting that something is happening down towards Pahoa, and it's increasing the amount of pressure behind this stuff, and we're getting more sulfur dioxide coming out. This is a serious concern. Pahoa is a popular place in Puna, perhaps, I guess, and Well, other than maybe the town of Volcano and the national park up here, Puna would probably, Pahoa would probably be, I suppose, the most popular destination around here. There used to be a bunch of places down that way you can go swimming and things. It's really been messed up pretty bad by the eruptions now. So much stuff got filled in, but it's still, has this bohemian chic. As far as I'm concerned, it's a dump of a town. But as time moves on, more and more businesses are moving in there. Yeah, getting shopping centers, they're getting more restaurants. Developers, I guess, have said this is the place. Now, I get a feeling they're not looking at the lava zone maps either. Yeah, it happens. Apparently, I get folks that stop by here and they tell me, oh, they're looking at property, down over here in areas like Nanavali around Pahoa. I kind of shake my head and go, well, lots are too small. Everybody's on top of each other. The social dynamic is a mess. You got one crazy rooster lady next door to you. Well, her roosters are in your yard too, and it's too tight, but it's on Lava Zone 1 too. And nobody in their right mind. I mean, really, there's got to be something going on here that you might consider moving on top of Lava Zone 1. Twice now since 2016, not long ago, 6 years, twice in the last 6 years, that exact area has gone up. Yep, the lava was pouring into Pahoa and almost took out the transfer station, buried the Buddhist cemetery on Halloween, was heading for the post office. People were leaving town. They came up here in masses, and they haven't left either. The population really jumped right here during some of these eruptions. But yeah, it's the Kentucky Fried Chicken, who had just opened up a store in the new shopping center, saw the 50-foot wall of lava heading their way, pulled up stakes and chickened out and left. That's lucky for Luquine, because he lost his restaurant when it burned down there in Pahoa. And so we have a Mexican restaurant down there in what used to be the KFC. Much better food. Yeah, much better food. But it amazes me. Yeah, I mean, the area is so active. That was Lava Zone 1 was Leilani, and that's there near Pahoa too. This stuff has been ongoing steadily now for years, on and off. It keeps changing precise locations. 2 eruptions back, it was at Pu'u'o, and now the last one was in the middle of Leilani subdivision down there. And people are still buying in. And what I hear from folks who are doing this is, oh, the price is great. Yeah, the price is great, right? Oh, I'm not sure, and I don't want to spread vicious rumors, but I do know that originally all that Lava Zone 1 development down there, that had happened because prices of real estate in Hawaii had gotten so high that the locals were moving off to the mainland, going to Nevada, Las Vegas, some other place where they could afford to live. And, the state decided that wasn't a good thing. And so they went in and subsidized insurance programs in Lava Zone 1 and 2, where ordinarily most insurance brokers would not insure your house on active volcanic area. Well, state subsidized the programs, and so it encouraged all this building. Yeah, we got more subdivisions right on top, the hottest spot in the island, than we got anywhere else on this island. It's nuts, It's kind of like, hey, let's put them where we're going to get rid of them. It's population control. But I'm joking. No one hardly ever dies here from volcanoes. It just gives you nerves. Yeah, it'll mess with your head bad if you're too close to it. But, yeah, so it's since the state has been buying out all the property that was covered in the last eruption down there. My buddy Jim, I think, got a check from the state. He don't own the land anymore. The state's buying out everything that was in the eruption zone that was sitting on lava zone 1 so that nobody can build there again. Okay, it was their mistake that we got there in the first place. Well, people are still going in there. Because now, the prices are now so cheap in that area, that they're willing to take the risk. I think it's dizzy. Get a clue. But I have to wonder if the state will actually issue building permits in there, since they've been buying up the real estate to get it off the market. If you're on Lava Zone 1, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to get an insurance policy anymore. But I wonder if they're going to even issue you a permit to build. I don't know why people come and even ask my opinion. They know what I'm going to say because I've had videos out about this for a long time. I guess they're hoping that, I'll change my mind and tell them, oh, yeah, you want to live in Lava Zone 1. All right, that's a great place, right? Free heat. It's a little more difficult to garden at the moment due to the large amount of rain pouring down and then dry weather. Rain, dry weather. It's become harder to grow things around here than it used to. My onions got trampled by that rain, just pounded them. I will pull off part of the crop, and by the way, it was Gabriella, which survived quite well out there, and also another onion called White Castle. I went out there called Red Rocket. Man, it didn't hold up well in that water at all. I don't think they're going to mature. The rest will. I don't think I'm going to get any record size onions out of it, but they're all right. But tomatoes, yes, tomatoes. I picked up a couple of new ones that were supposedly highly disease resistant. We are trialing them. So far, they haven't gone down in the nursery. They're looking okay. Mountain Merit and Skylark. Yeah, those are new ones. We'll see how it works out. Generally speaking, it doesn't work out too well. Yeah, I mean, I get away with the Florida Everglades cherry, but it's a tiny little thing, and it's just, I don't like picking it. A good friend of mine over here on the island who likes to play around with plant genetics had bought some stuff from Park Seed over here, and one of the seeds he was using was a thing called Purple Zebra. Well, he passed along a couple of fruits from Purple Zebra to me, and I planted the seeds out from them. And I'm dumbfounded. So far, I don't have a spot on Purple Zebra. Nothing. It's at his house. I'm told by friends who visited there and looked at his purple zebras that they've been going right through the winter and they got fruit on them. And apparently the only problem anybody's spotting is the birds are attacking the fruit that's hanging in the vines. But they're not dying from diseases. This could be the key. I don't care if my tomatoes are purple, orange, green, or polka dotted. This is a striped purple thing. It's fairly attractive. It looks all right. It's a decent sized tomato. The ones he gave me were bigger than a golf ball at least. So it's not a cherry tomato. So that's been new. Yeah, we'll see if we make it all the way through. One does not count their tomatoes until they've fully ripened here in Puna. But I never seen anything like it. I put a couple of plants out into a barrel over here and stuck a tomato cage over them in the last 2 weeks of the rain that we had. Nothing happened. I put them out there intentionally. I said, all right, go for it, guys. Show me what you can do. They did. Well, St. Paddy's Day today. I'm not Irish, all right? Not even slightly. Yeah, so here we are, St. Patrick's Day. I tell you, I guess this is another one of those Catholic Irish saints, huh? Supposedly drove all the serpents out of Ireland. Yeah, well, I think the only serpents they ever had there were the tattooed druids, frankly. I don't think Ireland even had a snake. But so it's about as much BS of a story as drinking green beer and dyeing the Chicago River green. I was born in Chicago. Every year, for years, have had Irish mayors, the Daley family. They were like king. He was like king. His son was prince. Those guys that dye the river green. The Chicago River is generally filthy, disgusting looking, gray, black color. I mean, it's a sewer. It's not as bad as it used to be. They claim that there is life in the river today. There wasn't when I was a boy. But they dye it green. Yeah, right through town. And they dyed it the other day, I guess, to make sure it's green for St. Patty's Day. And, then they bring in the Shannon Rovers and, and the Pipers, all that stuff. I had a friend in music whose family was well connected with this whole Chicago Irish thing, and so they knew the Shannon Rovers, a lot of the guys who were, the Pipers and stuff. And, well, we were running a coffee house in Arlington Heights back in the early 1970s for the Park District. And, of course, our band was the main act, right? But every now and then, we had to do things to liven it up. And so I remember one time Rick went ahead and he got the Shannon Rovers through his family. He managed, not the whole works. I mean, this is a huge group, right? But he got about a half dozen of them or so. And he got a couple of the dancers, the ladies that do the fling, and then he got about four of the pipers, or two of the pipers, maybe, and some drummers. I can't quite remember exactly the combination, but I know we had pipes, dancers, and drummers. Anyway, we get up. We did one set, our usual country rock that we were playing in those days, folk rock. And then we got off the stage and announced that we have a special guest. Back door of the coffee house blew open, and the Shannon Rovers come rolling through. Man, I'm telling you, if you ever heard bagpipes inside a building, it almost blew everybody over. Yeah, I mean, they were dumbfounded. It was great. It was great. They come marching through, playing the pipes, beating on the drums, and the ladies are dancing, and they got up on the stage and went around the room a couple of times. It was really cool. Yeah, it was very cool. It was, almost as much fun as the time I partied with Albert King or got to meet Muddy Waters, because I sat next to his wife at a concert or stuff like this. But, yeah, it was special. So, anyway, nothing new about St. Patrick's Day. I don't know. Did they even celebrate this in Ireland? I doubt it. I don't really know anything about that. I am not at all Irish, so what do I know?